Hi and welcome to my Flosstube number 21. My name is Esther and I'm the Danish Stitcher. Welcome to returning viewers as well as new viewers. I appreciate you all, so thank you very much for stopping by. Lately I've been watching a lot of Flosstube and a lot of those Flosstubers have been new to me, and some of them have also been fairly new to the Flosstube community. And therefore I would like to give some shout outs. It has been a while since I made my last shout outs, and I think today I have more than 10 shout outs, so it might take a while. No particular order. On my regular Flosstubes, those I follow, I'm behind, but I will catch up eventually, because right now it's Easter and I have nothing else to do than I have to edit my Flosstubes. And I was with my family yesterday. Today I brought Carsten to the train station because he's going to spend some days in a summer house with his 4 kids. So I have the house all for myself, and therefore I'm going to dye some fabric and probably stitch a lot. So I'm looking forward to that. Well, let's start with the shout out. And the first one is Jamie from Cross Stitch and Chill. She does usually a lot of full coverage, a lot of hates. She also stitches on the video game sampler. And then she's stitching on a Middle Earth map, and it's huge. I'm amazed that she can do it. I mean, when she shows it from time to time, you can actually see that she did something, but since it's about 900,000 stitches, if it was not a million, I don't remember. I'm really flabbergasted that she has taken on a project that big, but way to go, Jamie. So if you do not know Jamie, check her out. The next one is Maria from Stitches and Diamonds. She's a pretty new Flosstuber, and I'm sorry I forgot to, I think she lives in the UK, and I think Jamie too. I forgot to write that down where people are from, because that's not that important to me. Maria, she does a lot of different kind of stuff. Modern folk embroidery and little dove designs, little home needleworks, etc, etc. And yeah, I like watching her, and yeah, it's nice to watch her. So go check her out if you do not know her already. The next one is also pretty new. It's Heather. She's a 20-minute stitcher, and she calls herself the 20-minute stitcher because she doesn't have much time to stitch, and therefore she usually only has about 20 minutes stitching time, and therefore she cannot always, I mean, if she watches, for example, my videos, she will have 2 or 3 stitching times before she has watched the video, and therefore she tries to make her videos last just about 20 minutes, and usually she succeeds pretty well. She has a variety of pattern styles, so go check her out if you don't know her already. And then we have Maxine, whose channel is called Nightmare Before Stitchmas. She is crazy about Halloween, and she does a lot of great Halloween stuff. So if you do not know her, go check her out. And then we have Amanda, the Alba Stitcher. I just found her recently. I have only watched her last 2 or 3 videos. She has made more, but I haven't had time to watch them all. She's also what you could call a moody stitcher. She has the most wonderful Scottish accent. I love the Scottish accent, so it's really nice to listen to her talking. She also has many different styles, and she likes samplers a lot in Prairie Schooler. That's not stuff that I stitch, but just because I do not stitch it, I think it's nice and it's interesting to see other people's passion for the stuff that they like to stitch. So go check her out if you do not know her already. The next one is Jo from Belushi Stitches. I know she's been around for a while. She's starting one cell after the other with Emma X stitching. But I don't know why, but I just didn't come around to start watching her, and now at least I watched her last 2 videos, I think, and I think she had a break. She stitches Owl Forest embroidery and Caterpillar cross stitch and other stuff as well, so if you do not know her, go check her out. And then we're just from Joss Holm. She likes to stitch Gecko Roots, Mill Hill and Oil Forest embroidery, among others. And I think she just recently made a whip parade, so go check her out if you do not know her. And then there's Yas Ashley. He stitches nerdy stuff, and he has been around before, and then he took a break, and I think he made 1 or 2 videos then, and then we haven't heard from him since, but I hope he will soon bring out another video. So go check him out if you do not know him already. A fairly new Flosstuber is Anita, the Violet Stitcher. And she is also what I would call a nerdy stitcher, because she likes stitching on dragons and stuff like that. But she does actually stitch a lot of different kind of stuff. So if you do not know her, go check her out. Then there's Steph from Total Stitch Show. I have mentioned her before. She is stitching a lot of geeky and nerdy stuff. And then she has this cat called Tofu that usually makes an appearance, a cameo, when she's doing her Flosstube. Or not always, but quite some. I haven't watched all her videos yet. But then the most recent one that I saw, Tofu did show up. And that was quite funny. You know, sometimes my cats, some of them also tend to make an appearance in my videos, and I don't always find that funny. But I love watching it by other Flosstubers when the animals or the pets try to interrupt. I find that hilarious. Not so much if it's my own cats who do it. Sorry. And this is actually, I don't know if I showed it before, this is actually my first cross-stitch mock. I'd rather be cross-stitching. But making Flosstube videos is okay as well. And then back to the shout-outs. 2 more to go. DNA Geek Crafts, that's Carrie. I just found her recently, and again, she has been around for quite some time, and I only watched her latest 2 or 3 or 4 videos. She's also stitching geeky and nerdy stuff. And then she has this dog, Lexi. I mean, Lexi shows up in almost all of her videos, and as Carrie herself describes Lexi, she says, Lexi is a dog with a personal space problem. And that's very obvious when you watch the videos. So go and check her out if you do not know her. And the last one is Liz. She has a channel, Stitched by Liz. She's from Australia. I think her husband Ross is doing the editing. And he's also filming, I think. And actually he has she made a video with herself and Ross where she had this little, do you know what this is called, about cross-stitch items? And that was very hilarious. But Ross, every time he has a comment to what she says in her video, he makes this kind of beep sound, and then you have his comment written, and it's usually quite hilarious. So if you do not know Stitched by Liz, go check her out. So that were my shout outs. Quite a lot of shout outs, but I haven't been doing shout outs for quite some time, so I thought it was time to make some. Let's move on. My 100,000 stitches challenge. I'm almost there. I still lack about 10,000 stitches. So far I've done 90,515. I have had a lot of comments on how it's possible that I stitched so many stitches. And now I'm trying to give you the answer. And the main answer is I got the time. In the last 2 years, because of COVID, usually we were sitting at home and had nothing else to do, and I picked up cross-stitching again in March of 2020. When you don't have a lot of things to do because you just have to stay at home. Well, I don't have kids. We have 4 cats, but they don't need to be looked after as much as kids do. And I was teaching from home. That means when I was not teaching my students for whole hours. I mean, I was not talking all the time. Usually I would give them a task and then they would work for themselves and then we would meet again. So in that meantime, I could also sit and stitch or prepare the next lesson, depending. And then we had an hour lunch break. I could stitch there as well. And when we had staff meeting online, I could stitch there as well. And that means I stitched, usually I stitched around 4 till 10 hours every day. And since I stitch in hand and my average speed is to about, if it's not too confetti, depending on the confetti, I do stitch about 200 stitches, full crosses an hour. So of course, that's why I get a lot of stitching done. Now, where life is slowly turning back to normal, I still stitch between 1 and 12 hours a day, but until now, my calendar have been quite empty, and that's going to stop as from now, because now we can go and see friends again. So a lot of my weekends will not be free anymore. And free, that's the wrong word to use, because actually I'm so thrilled that I'm going to see my friends again. Yesterday we went to see my mother, and my sister with her family was there as well. My nephew has just been here for a couple of days, and it was so nice to see my 3 nieces again. And actually the oldest one of them, she's 7.5, that's very important. She was very interested in my cross stitching, and I asked her if she would like to learn how to cross stitch. Oh, yeah, she would really like that. So I made an appointment with her that in about 5 or 6 weeks, she will come here on a Friday, because she lives in another part of Denmark. So she will be brought here on a Friday by my sister. And then she will stay here the whole Saturday and will be picked up again on Sunday. And then she's going to learn how to cross stitch. And I'm so much looking forward to it, and she can hardly wait, and I really hope that she will love to do it. And we have already decided that her first cross stitch should be one that where I make the pattern. It should be a name tag for her room with her name, and then some small symbols of stuff that she likes to do. I have this billedbog i korsting. It's called Picture Book in Cross Stitch, and it's from Håndarbejdets Fremme. You might know that company. And I have to, I mean, you only got the patterns, but you don't have any colors. So, I mean, you can see the colors, but you can pick the colors yourself. And there's, for example, if you like horses, we can make a horse, etc. Because they're very simple patterns, I can put them into my WinStitch program and make a real program, make a real pattern for her. Not that these patterns are not real, but I think it would be easier for her if it's just in one pattern, and I'm going to make it so it will fit into Pattern Keeper because she's got a tablet. And I'm going to give her Pattern Keeper, the full version, so she might as well learn how to use Pattern Keeper from the start. And I mean, if she decides that she doesn't like to cross stitch, well, Pattern Keeper isn't that expensive, so I think I'll survive. So I'm really much looking forward to having her for a week. And if she likes it, we will probably start having regular meetings where we can sit and cross stitch. And I really hope that she will like cross stitching, and because then I have someone who can inherit all my stuff for cross stitching, right? So, and because I would like to teach it. My happiness, my passion about cross stitching, I would like to give it, to pass it on to the future generation. Okay, as I said before, I visited my mother yesterday, and she picked out, because I asked her to, some of my old cross stitches that I have given to her. And unfortunately, she couldn't find one of my first ones. She will look for it because I would really love to show it, because it's, yeah, I'm not going to say more about it, but I think it's funny to look at now. So the first one, these three are all Christmas stuff, and the first one here I did in 88. Today I would probably not pick a frame like that, but never mind. And then these two. This is very typical for Danish designs. It's from Permin, both of them. I think I actually still have the patterns. Maybe I should put them into a giveaway, because I'm not going to stitch them again. Would you like, if I still have the patterns, would you like to be able to win those in a giveaway? Then please let me know in a comment. Yeah. So let's move on to my current projects. I have a finish. And you probably saw it on Instagram if you follow me there. I have finished the Leshy. I love this pattern. I think it's absolutely wonderful. I actually love the patterns from the Witchy Stitcher. So many details and not that many colors. My temperature houses, I will put up a picture, because as you can see, I only stitched a house without a roof, and I'm almost a month behind now, 3 weeks behind, because I have been so busy stitching on Leshy. I only did 30 stitches, and therefore I thought it was not necessary to show it here today. I could just show a photo. And by the way, this video is rather spontaneous, so I haven't ironed my projects for today. And I think actually that's the first time I haven't ironed them. But it has to be a first time eventually, right? I finished the Daffodil by CutePatternsByMaria. I mean, I finished the cross stitching. I still need the back stitching. Yeah, and I love it. I think it's so cute. I did 109 stitches on it. That was all that was left, and then it was done. Something Wick This Way Comes by Autumn Lane Stitchery. I haven't done much there either. I stitched 121 stitches. So not much. I still like it, but I only have that much time to stitch, and this time the Leshy and Buffy was more important for me to stitch in. As you know, I'm a moody stitcher, and I was not in the mood for stitching on this one. The same can be said about my Butcher Burn. No, Butcher Burn from The Witcher. I'm almost done with the Butcher now. I think I did two letters since my last video. I still like stitching on it, but I was just not in the mood for stitching that much on it. I did 391 stitches. Then I had a new start. It's a pattern by myself. I mean, I just converted a picture. It's going to be the logo from Diablo 3, my favorite computer game. And I forgot how I dislike stitching on black fabric. I do know I still have 2 Galliana cross stitch on black fabric, and I'm really not that fond of stitching on black fabric. And I know that I should have good lighting and white paper or fabric underneath, and still I find it difficult to stitch on. Okay. The next one I might call my work project, because I actually only stitch on it at work at the moment. So therefore I only did 1048 stitches since the last time. And of course it's a video game sampler. I still like it, but as I said, I only stitch on it at work at the moment, because I can stitch it without my magnifier if I sit in the sofa at my work, because there the lighting is good because I get the light from the outside. The next one is Captain John Hart, and I'm not going to show it to you. I will show you the last photo I showed of him on Instagram. Since my last video I did 2818 stitches on him, but it's now so close to a finish. I think maximum 2000 stitches left, and it's all confetti, and I'm trying to reduce the colors in it, and I think I have eliminated about 50 of the 150 colors now. And I do not stitch on it every day. I know I wrote on Instagram that might be my plan to take a color or 2 every day, but I'm just not in the mood for it at the moment. So in 1 or 2 months he would probably be finished, and then of course I'm going to show it to you. Promise. The next one you will also not see live, but I will put in a picture of it here, a before and an after. This is my Buffy sampler. I still love stitching on it, and since the last time I stitched 3412 stitches and did some back stitching as well. So, and I have actually decided that this one, when it's done, I'm going to have it professionally framed. I know it's going to cost a hell lot of money, but I think it's worth it, because it's so big that I would probably not be able to frame it myself and having it looking good as well. So I'm going to give it to professional framers. So the last piece I've stitched on is my second pattern from the Witchy, and there we have Felix. Is the second pattern that I'm going to stitch by the Witchy Stitcher. It's called Baba Yaga, and this far I have stitched 3686 stitches on it since since I started it. I started it 3 or 4 days ago. I don't remember when I started it, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Since my last video, I have been making cabochons. Quite a lot. Not that I needed that many, but I found it very funny, and hey, I did already have the stuff for it, so why not make it? Yeah, two from the Witcher. And here we have Star Wars and Captain John Hart. I'm not going to show you all of them because there are way too many. And these are from Buffy. As you can see, it's Spike. But there are also Buffy and Spike. And from the Hush episode, Buffy will patrol tonight. some more Witcher stuff. And then we have these. There are all 4 cats. Felix. No, sorry. That's Quintus and Senior and Felix and Scipio. All 4 cats have their own. And then there are some of the flowers in my garden, crocus and a rose, a Diablo, and I have another Diablo. This is from Diablo Immortal, the mobile version coming to a cell phone, coming as a cell phone app in July this year. And from Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Rings, and You Shall Not Pass. So, yeah, that was it, and now it's time for Hi and welcome to Curator's Corner. Of course, I have bought stuff since my last time. First of all, a little fabric, and I think that's about 4 meters. I have cut it out and I have zigzagged it, and as you can see, the colors are different. The colors of the zigzag is different, and that's because depending on the size and the count of the fabric, because I'm going to dye all this, and therefore the counts have different kind of colors, so I know what it is. I know I don't need to dye anymore, but most of that stuff is opalescent. I bought 32 count opalescent, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how that will look, because I think I fell very much in love with opalescent, with hand-dyed opalescent fabric the first time I tried to dye it. So I also bought some more normal fabric, half a meter of this 16 count Ada color in the color of Dirty, because the Leshy and the Baba Yaga are both stitched on this, and I have another pattern in this series, the Kikimora, and maybe the Witchy Stitcher will make more patterns in that series of more monsters from the Witcher, and of course I have to be prepared, right? I also, talking about the Witcher, I bought some badges, button badges from the Witcher. They were not that easy to come by here in Denmark, but I actually succeeded in finding them in Sweden. And of course I'm going to turn them into needle minders. And when I was on a field trip with my class a couple of weeks, 1.5 weeks ago, I found these pins, and I thought, hey, they can make nice needle minders as well, because I have no use for pins, but needle minders, I like needle minders. I also found this frame. As you can see, it has a passepartout, in here. I don't have a project for this one at the moment, but since I also make my own patterns, I think I'm going to make probably something with letters or something that will fit together and then put it in the frame. So I would design directly for this frame. I think that would be my solution. I also bought some more dye. This is a red one, and this is called ES Batik color, liquid batik color. I don't think I used this ES before, but it's liquid. So, and this is navy blue. It's pretty hard to see the color in this bottle, but it is navy blue. And this one is brilliant blue. You can see it there. In my last video, or maybe the video before, I don't remember, I showed you that I had gotten my first sulky threads. And I have so far only stitched one piece with sulky and found out that I liked it a lot, especially when I'm stitching on 20 count Ada, because it will be a bit too bulky if I use 2 strands of DMC, and 1 strand of DMC, I don't like the coverage. So therefore sulky is perfect because it's about 1.5 of DMC. I showed on Instagram that I got myself some more sulky threads. And while I was shopping those, I thought to myself, oh, and how I'm going to store it, how I'm going to put it into storage, because all those little spools, they will drive me nuts if they float around everywhere, and I might lose some of them. And of course, sulky, the shop of sulky itself had the solution. Ta-da! So of course, I bought a slimline box for sulky threads. And it has room for 104. And as you can see, I already got quite a lot of sulky threads, but there's room for plenty more. And these are all blacks because I have a project in mind that I'm going to use the black sulky for. And I'm probably going to use the sulky for designs, my own designs, because there I can easily decide which colors to use. And maybe those designs I'm going to make for the frame, maybe I'm going to chart it in sulky. So, that was my haul for today. This was Curator's Corner for this time. Bye. Okay, so I think that was about it for this time. I had thought about having a cool tool, but I think my video is long enough. Actually, I'm trying to get my videos in the future to make a little shorter videos. I know that this video is not that short, but I would like to keep my videos around 30-40 minutes, and I do know I have some editing to do here, so maybe I will succeed today. I don't know. If you liked what you saw, please hit the subscribe button, and you can follow me on Instagram, and I hope to see you the next time. So, and happy Easter. Okay, take care. Bye.